Good evening, you're watching NDTV 24/7. I'm Amitabh Brevi. Another protest march is being held in the capital. About 300 protesters are marching from the Nizamuddin area in South Delhi towards India Gate. They have been stopped by the police since their prohibitory orders still in place around India Gate and Vijay Chowk area. Police saying protests can only take place at Jantar Mantar and Ram Leela Maidan. The protests so far have been peaceful, but the police, as we said, have stopped protesters from marching onto India Gate. In the middle of that outrage against the Delhi gang rape and rapes across the country, as well as nationwide protests, President Mukherjee's son Abhjit Mukherjee has now apologized and withdrawn after making extremely controversial remarks. He questioned the protesters in an interview to Channel 8B. Abhjit Mukherjee, a first-time MP from Jangipur, said, "These pretty ladies coming out to protest are highly dented and painted. They are giving interviews, taking children out." Speaking to NDTV, he said, "I apologize unconditionally for my remarks," but said the context should be seen in the context of what the question was. What do you have to say about those comments that had aired on the channel?
I see. I have not seen that comment, but I heard from a lot of other news channels and etc. etc. It has some backdrop, and with that backdrop, it has been told nothing to do with so-called hurting any student or anyone. I was asked a specific question, and in reply to that, it was come. So the background was known to the people. So that's why naturally they thought that it is insulting to them. Somebody has commented on that.
But you did say call these protesters dented and painted.
That is with respect to that question I was asked.
Does that change anything?
So my this thing that now reaction is very simple and very clear. My statement, since certain words has hurt sentiment of a lot of people, particularly women flow, of mixed class, student, working women, professionals, housewives, etc. I withdraw those sentences, words, and apologize unconditionally for that.
But why did you make those statements, Mr. Mukherjee?
I told you that I was asked specific question. With that backdrop, it came. It's not that to hurt a particular section, a particular group, particular people.
Whatever the context, but to describe these protesters when there's such huge outrage all across the country, why did you do that?
That has been. I have not made this thing public to all these people. I was asked a specific question: whether do you believe it's a student agitation or not? With that backdrop, it has come. A, B. I was asked specifically about that agitation, about 2 or 3 persons who have gone all the way from Calcutta to take part in that agitation. And about their background, somebody asked me, that one of the reporters, there are 2-3 reporters, they asked me, do you believe that they are doing the right thing? Then my question was that, why didn't speak up when the rape happened in Calcutta and many other places in Bengal? Few years back and say a few months back. They have not said anything when government has taken quick action there. And everybody is concerned, like the people who have taken part in agitation.
But these protests are in fact a reflection of outrage across the country on different incidents, and your own sister Sharmishna Mukherjee has told us that both she, the family and the president feel the same way.
That is why I withdraw those words and apologize unconditionally.
But you did make those statements, you realized the consequence of that now?
No, I never thought of that actually, because it was told by that person. It was told by that person, and that they'll edit it and they give it. So editation, that's up to say them what they have done. So I am not commenting on that. That backdrop was something else. With that backdrop, this was the answer.
But you do realize that those comments coming at this time are extremely insensitive to
No.
at best.
My intention was not to hurt anyone. A. Still I stand by that my intention was not to hurt anyone. Had I known that this kind of thing will happen, I had never spoken to that person at all. Again I say, I repeat, I apologize to all the people whose sentiment got hurt because of these sentences, and these sentences are withdrawn.
Abhjit Mukherjee, you cannot in any way, you are apologizing for statements that have already been made. You realize how outrage is growing against you. We even have protests in Delhi today taking place, and one of the protesters saying, it's my right to be dented and painted.
Yeah. Exactly. So why I should comment on that? I mean, that is their prerogative. That is their prerogative. That is their right. I have no one to stop anybody's right. I have no authority.
But are you saying that it's their prerogative to be dented and painted?
No, I am not commenting on that. Since I have withdrawn, I have no comment on that.
But you do realize that this apology might not, in fact, change anything because you've made those statements. The statements are available everywhere.
To the people, what I am supposed to do, I have done it. What I am supposed to do, I have done it. I have apologized and withdrawn.
Spoke to the president's daughter, Sharmishta Mukherjee, also said she was shocked by those statements, though she didn't know the context with the president, and the family did not agree with them.
Honestly, I mean, it came as a bit of a shocker, I mean, because I don't know in what context he said, and I mean, what exactly did he say, I mean, I just don't have any clue, but from whatever the headlines coming, and it is definitely something we as family, we don't agree to it. I have said in my interview earlier also with NTV that I completely empathize with the protesters, and my father has also said that, made that same statement, that the anger is justified. Only thing here to remain calm and not to get over emotional, and I think this protest is, I have said that it is not only just one incident, but it is over accumulated rage over what the way women are being treated and raped and molested. If he has made such a statement, I mean, on his behalf, I would really like to apologize. So whether they are students, whether they have a student identification card or not, it really doesn't matter. And as far as women are concerned, I mean, he has one strong woman sitting at home, and I am a working emancipated woman, and without a particular family environment, I wouldn't be what I am. So I'm actually quite shocked that if he has made such a statement, and why, I really wonder why, but definitely I would like to speak to him. And if he has made such a statement on behalf of him, I would really like to apologize. And I would also really like to state that, I have spoken to my father, he has been really shocked, and he has also made this statement that this outrage is understandable, it's completely justified, My father is absolutely with me in this. Because he has made this statement that this, I think 2 or 3 days back, either in Banaras or in Allahabad, I don't remember where, or even before that this public outrage, it is, the anger of the public is absolutely justifiable. Only thing he asked them to maintain calm and be, not to become over emotional and lose complete control. So, but he completely justifies this anger in his personal talks with me also. It is an outrageous incident which has actually shaken everybody. Not only from politicians but from anybody. I think, this is, I also said in an interview that it is not only just the state or, the evil goes much deeper, it's in the mindset of people, it's the mindset of men, and also I would say certain section of women who think that their son can't do any wrong. So, to really eradicate this, there has to be a massive sensitization program. And this is, I think, responsibility of every family to bring up their son in such a manner that they don't make these kind of statements, and they, look at women with respect and with the proper dignity that they deserve.
NDTV's Alok Pandey also got a reaction from one of the marching protesters to the president's son's statement.
A protest march from Nizamuddin in South Delhi to India Gate has actually started. There are about 200 odd people who are here and who say that it is their right to march from here to India Gate in spite of the fact that there are restrictions in place. Some people are here with me. Ma'am, before I ask you about this protest march,
Yes.
I just want to ask you about Mr. Abhjit Mukherjee's statement.
Yes, yes.
What is your reaction to that?
I find it an appallingly sexist and misogynist statement, which is an insult to the spirit of the young women. Because women are saying, don't lecture us about being painted. Don't lecture us about how we should dress. He don't, yes, he don't, and it shows how little the government is failing to understand the spirit of freedom that women want in this
Also,
world.
ma'am, what are you trying to prove by marching to India Gate? The police says go to Ram Leela, go to Jantar Mantar.
They are saying that the police has no business to tell us where to go. These are the common citizens of the country who have a right to peacefully protest, who have a right to walk to India Gate, and we are going to do it.
सही की तो कोई सवाल ही नहीं उठता. मतलब जब इतने दिनों के बाद, जब इतने दिनों से एक ही बात लगातार हो रही है कि जब तक हम लोग औरतों के बारे में अपनी सोच नहीं बदलेंगे, जब तक अपने आप को संवेदनशील नहीं बनाएंगे, जब तक पुरानी जो घिसी पिटी सोच है उसको त्यागेंगे नहीं, तब तक माहौल ठीक नहीं होगा, औरतें और लड़कियां सुरक्षित नहीं होंगी.
Well, coming from the son of President of India, who is respected, senior, and such a responsible politician, really this is sexist, this is insulting to women, this is absolutely a lewd remark. People's representative is not a street urchin to talk like that. This really speaks volumes about the mindset of such people who are sitting in such responsible positions in the country. It is totally unacceptable. We demand an apology from him.
Protesters in Delhi also demanding an apology, which has been issued on NDTV. Those protest marches you're seeing are taking place from the Nizamuddin area in South Delhi towards the center of Delhi towards India Gate. The police have stopped those protesters who are roughly in the few hundreds, about 300 or so prohibitory orders are still in place around India Gate and the Vijay Chowk area. The police is saying that only Jantar Mantar and Ram Leela Maidan can be used for protests. Siddharth Pandey joins us for more on that. Siddharth, so far the protests have been peaceful, but the police say they will not allow the marchers to go on down to India Gate?
Well, that's right. In fact, I'm just at one of those crucial intersections. That side is India Gate behind me, and you can see there's a heavy deployment of police personnel completely having blocked off a particular road. And if you can just pan this side, and that's where, of course, the police have actually held back the protesters. They're saying that at no cost should they try and go towards India Gate, and there are at least 4 different lines of that the police have essentially formed on St. Marg from between here and India Gate. So the police saying that as long as they sit here and peacefully go ahead and make speeches, there's no problem. You can see this truck also behind me, and that's where the police essentially have been using the loudspeaker system, once again informing protesters that they mustn't break the law. Police today have completely come armed with tear gas, water cannons, but of course they're hoping they don't have to use that at all. They're also interestingly, Amitabh, videographing the entire thing. We've got policemen with video cameras actually recording what's happening, and that's in case anything were to happen, they at least would have a proof, and they can try and build back the sequence of what really happened. But right now, of course, the protesters not crossing this particular barrier. There are at least 3 more barriers like this all the way onto India Gate, and you can see employment police personnel there. They haven't really been called into action yet, but just at the first line itself, the protesters have been held back. By and large, they've been just sitting there making speeches, insisting, of course, it's a peaceful protest. They want to go ahead, but the police having none of that.
Siddharth Pandey reporting there on the intersection 2. We'll look at one of the intersections. Thanks for that update. Also online, they are tweeting, in fact, about the protesters peacefully reclaiming that protest. Meanwhile, the 23-year-old paramedical student fighting for her life is currently in Singapore's Mount Elizabeth Hospital. She is in an extremely critical condition. She was flown out of India last night along with her parents and senior doctors in a highly advanced air ambulance fitted with intensive care facilities. She has successfully survived the 6-hour flight. She was brutally gang raped by 6 men on the 16th of December and savagely beaten. Doctors who were treating her at South Pazong Hospital had to remove most of her intestines. The spokesperson spokesperson of Mount Elizabeth Hospital in Singapore has said the patient arrived at the hospital's intensive care unit this morning in an extremely critical condition. She is being examined and the hospital is working with the Indian High Commission. We request that the privacy of the patient and the family be respected. Singapore's Mount Elizabeth Hospital is one of the world's top super speciality hospitals. It's also one of the hospitals capable of carrying out multiple organ transplants. The young girl needs her intestines replaced, a surgery that this hospital in Singapore is equipped to carry out. This is the same hospital where actor Rajinikanth went for his kidney treatment, as did Amar Singh, who had a kidney transplant in the same hospital. So Mehrotra is in Singapore and joins us now on the phone line. Sonal, what's the latest you're hearing from authorities?
Amitabh, the girl was admitted into the hospital at 9:03 local time here, and since then the doctors here in the hospital tell us that she's been put into intensive care unit and she remains to be in an extremely critical condition. And a team of doctors, including those who have come from India, are examining her, and they'll be decided through the evening today. They'll perhaps be able to come up with something on what the further course of action will be. Now, currently, what we can tell you as per now is that no surgeries are planned for the day, but she remains to be closely monitored by the entire team of doctors. And but remember, Amitabh, as we speak of this, there is Singapore is a place where very little can really come out of the hospitals. They are very cagey about stuff. So we are trying to see what more details we can get you at this point of time. But what we know is that the Indian High Commission visited her this morning. He's also keeping a very, very close tab on the entire case, with the entire way the India has reacted to it, and even the way Singapore is reacting to this entire story is quite overwhelming, Amitabh. Wherever we go on the streets of Singapore, a lot of curious, also because a lot of people, a lot of Indians are based out here these days. They come up to us and they ask us about, they're inquiring about our health. A lot of local media also present around the hospital, trying to get the latest on our health. Everybody seems to be really, really overwhelmed about what the girl has gone through. To the extent of the injuries, to the extent that entire intestine has been removed, and that is the reason that she has been brought into this super speciality, state-of-the-art, multi-organ transplant hospital, which is also earlier visited, and where treatments of superstar Rajinikanth and the politician Amar Singh also placed. So all of that is being taken care of. Around people of 10. Group of 10 people have come from India, including the parents of the girl, and she remains to be in the ICU on a very, very close watch of all of these people. All the security also playing a very crucial role here, Amitabh. They've placed in security forces around the ICU area, not letting any journalist, not even letting any bystander stand there. And they say that this is a very, very sensitive case, and they're putting all their efforts to try and revive the girl. And really all prayers, perhaps not just in India, even those from coming across the world, especially those from Singapore, perhaps, will work out for the girl. And, we'll probably see, hoping against hope, that miracles will happen.
NTV Sonal Mehrotra reporting live there from Singapore. Meanwhile, another gang rape has been reported in the national capital. 3 men allegedly gang raped a 42-year-old woman, and then she was let off at Delhi's Kalkaji area. Police say the woman who was from Jaipur was raped somewhere in Vrindavan and then let off in Delhi's Kalkaji area. One of the accused, identified as Dilip Verma, has been detained. The Delhi police spokesperson has said he was picked up in Agra and is being brought to Delhi. He said he claimed that he knew the victim for 5 years. 3 other teams have been formed and are looking to catch the other 2 accused. The crime branch, which is probing the death of Constable Subhash Tomar after that huge controversy broke out, has called an eyewitness today who had contradicted the police's version of the constable's death. They've also called for Subhash Tomar's medical reports. The police claim the constable was beaten by protesters, leading to his collapse. 2 eyewitnesses have said they saw the constable collapse while chasing protesters. The post-mortem report says the policeman died of a cardiac arrest precipitated by injuries by a blunt object. The constable's death has added another layer of controversy over protests that took place in Delhi this weekend.
वहाँ पर जो कांस्टेबल सुभाष तोमर थे, उनके 2-3 साथी तो ब्रेक के पीछे भाग रहे थे, और भागते भागते अचानक से थोड़ा सा रुके और गिर गए। तो मुझे लगा कि शायद चक्कर आ गया। तो मेरे साथ एक लड़की थी, हम दोनों लोग गए भाग के, उनको पकड़ा और इसके बाद जो पीछे जो बैन की थी पीसीआर, उनको लेकर आए और उसमें लेकर हम लोग हॉस्पिटल चले गए। वहाँ पे उनका इलाज हुआ।
किसी भी प्रोटेस्ट करने वाले शख्स ने उनको पत्थरबाजी की थी या उनको मारा था, ऐसा कुछ आपने देखा?
नहीं, मेरे सामने ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ था, क्योंकि जो प्रोटेस्ट करने वाले जो जितने भी प्रदर्शनकारी थे वो आगे थे बहुत ज्यादा। उनको पुलिस ने पहले ही खदेड़ दिया था आगे, ये लोग पीछे थे और मैं भी पीछे था।
When you saw this particular gentleman, did you see him falling down in front of your eyes?
Yeah.
You saw him falling down?
Yeah, I saw him falling down in front of me.
You asserted to us that he had no injuries from any beatings before you saw him falling down? I mean, did you get that sense?
Yeah, he has no injuries, and he just collapsed over there.
You saw him collapse?
Yeah.
And at that time nobody was beating him, nothing?
No.
And
There was no crowd also. Yeah.
पोस्टमार्टम का हुआ, उसमें जो हम लोग को बताया गया है कि उनको पेट पर, चेस्ट पर और गर्दन में काफी अंदरूनी चोट थी, जिसकी वजह से उनकी मृत्यु हो गई।
जैसे उनके वो लगा था तो वो गिर गए थे। गिरते ही ये लोग 6-7 लोग उन पे जाके हावी हो गए थे। और
6-7 लोग कौन थे? लड़कियां ज्यादा थी?
नहीं, उसमें लड़के ही थे, लड़कियां नहीं थी। उसमें लड़के ही थे, करीब 4-5 लोगों की टोपी लगी हुई थी और 3 लोग ऐसे थे जिनके टोपियां नहीं थी। तो एक के शूज जो थे 2 लड़के के, वो शूज ज्यादा चोंच वाले थे, तो वो उनके पेट पे लगी थी चोट।
जब उनको चोट लगी और वो गिर गए और उनके ऊपर अटैक हुआ, तो उसके बाद वो उठे थे फिर से?
नहीं मैम, वो फिर नहीं उठे थे। उसके बाद जब उन्हें ले जाया गया था तो मुझे ध्यान है कि एम्बुलेंस नहीं थी, पुलिस की गाड़ी में ले जाया गया था, शायद जिप्सी थी बंद वाली, उसमें उन्हें ले जाया गया था। पुलिस वाले उन्हें उठा के ले गए थे जो उनके साथी थे, और साथ में ये भी गए थे, योगेंद्र और पॉलिन भी गए थे। लेकिन ये काफी कम से कम 10 मिनट बाद आए थे जब उनके साथ मारपीट हो चुकी थी।
Coming up, more reactions to the president's son being forced to apologize for statements he made on protesters, calling them dented and painted.
In opposition, we are not enemies. We are only ideologically opposed to each other.
We are really going down the route that would lead us into a banana republic. I would have no hesitation of telling the Prime Minister that.
Has the respect for the political class gone down or gone higher?
It's gone up. You can disagree with me as long as you are not disagreeing.
Walk the talk with Shekhar Gupta. Miles ahead.
I always walk the talk, and it's nice to walk the talk with you.
At 1:30 on AP 24/7. Walk the talk. Brought to you by
Always connected with 3G, Samsung Galaxy camera.
the Tootsie Sofas, made in Italy.
Lodha, India's premier luxury development company. And HP Ink Advantage printers.